Listen, I don't care what you're saying. A lot of folks are becoming millionaires, delivering packages for UPS, for FedEx, for Amazon. So one thing I want to say here is that, boss, are you there, boss? I want to talk to you today about something great. You're going to love today's conversation. You know why? Because I'll be talking to you about how to make money delivering for UPS. Okay. I'm going to share with you a step by step you need to actually master if you want to become a well paid UPS roadie driver. We're speaking about making at least $100,000 a year, boss. Do you hear that? $100,000. So stick around till the end of today's conversation.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower that's stinging in the beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you, boss, about how to make money delivering for UPS. Okay, I'm going to share with you a formula for becoming a well-paid UPS roadie driver. We are speaking about making at least $100,000 a year. So if you want to make that paper, I want you to really follow the step-by-steps, and I want you to follow thoroughly. Okay, let me first give you an overview. So when we talk about UPS, we're not talking about UPS, the logistics company itself. We're speaking about UPS Roadie. Okay, so Roadie is actually a UPS subsidiary. So what they've done is they have a crowdsourced logistics platform that helps fast, flexible, same-day delivery of any item, any size to more than 90% of U.S. households. Think about it, 90%. So they have a nationwide community of drivers, okay, that actually reach more than 20,000 zip codes. This is the largest, based on our analysis, this is the largest local same-day delivery footprint in the country. Okay, so basically, the whole thing here is that, how does the whole thing work? Well, whether it's once in a while, every day, or anything in between, driving with the roadie is the most flexible way to earn money on the side. Okay, so whether you like driving local or long haul, the roadie app makes it very easy to earn cash and rewards. We are speaking about $100,000. There are people making more than that. We have met them, we advise them. Okay, so there is, the possibilities are there. So what are the benefits here? Why do you want to drive with roadie? Should you consider driving with roadie? Well, you can make more money per trip. You can earn an average of $13 to $35 on local gigs, okay, depending on where you are driving, okay, and you can make even closer to $75 on long haul deliveries. So we're talking about an average of 13 to 35 on local gigs and up to $75 on long haul deliveries. This is great. So you are driving packages, not people, okay? So there's no need to entertain. You just have to sit back and relax during your drive. You can choose your deliveries. This is really good. You can choose when, where, and how you want to make money. That's what we love. We love the flexibility, okay? And before you go, you see the guaranteed payout plus the pickup and delivery notes up front, okay? There are no minimum vehicle standards, so you get paid to drive your way, no matter what you drive, okay? And you get help when you need it, okay? So live humans are ready to help whenever you need it. So Roadie has a 24/7 customer support, and they also have online support. They have email support. So you're really surrounded pretty well here, okay? So this is really great. So the first thing you need to do if you want to become a well-paid UPS roadie driver, I want you to join. Boss, are you there? Okay. So how can you start driving with Roadie? Well, you can sign up to drive on Roadie's platform. You go to driveroadie.com, sign up, or you can actually download their app and just sign up. Okay, so the new driver sign up process involves an online application, background verification, and an online app walkthrough. Okay, so when you think about it, the entire application takes minutes, and you will most likely be on your road the next business day. Okay, so what do you need to start driving, boss? Well, you need to become what they call a verified roadie driver. So you must be 18 years old, have a social security number, You must have a valid U.S. driver's license. Okay, so all verified roadie drivers must maintain a minimum 4-star rating in the roadie community based on feedback from senders on every gig. Very important. So what is really expected of you as a driver? You might be thinking, I'm so excited, I want to start now. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But after you are qualified, after they approve you, make sure that you download the app. That's what it is, okay? So after you're verified and you download the app, you will make an offer on a gig. And once you are accepted, you will receive a notification to complete the gig in a timely and neighborly manner, okay? Remember, to maintain, it's important that you maintain friendly communication with the sender and the gig recipients if you need to get in touch, okay? All drivers must maintain a minimum 4-star. I just said that. It's very important that you maintain that 4-star rating. Very important, okay? And so some people have asked us, can you deliver a gig on a bike? No. Right now, Roadie currently only offers deliveries via motor vehicles such as cars, vans, and trucks, okay? And so if basically maybe in the future they might open their platform to bicycles, motorcycles, or scooter drivers, okay? But right now it's only motor vehicles, okay? One thing you need to really important, once you are approved as a roadie driver, I want you to take some time to go to the driver dashboard. This is really important. The driver dashboard is the best place to find everything you need to be a successful driver on the roadie platform, okay? It is, if you think about it, the home of all your driver stats, including your year-to-date mileage and payment information, your end-of-year tax documents. They have an app walkthrough and how-to videos, and you have roadie news and product updates, okay? So this is what it is, but it's pretty straightforward though. One thing I want you to remember, boss, if you're there, I want you to think about this. I want you to always maintain a 4-star rating, minimum, okay? So if you become a roadie driver, this is the prerequisite to actually be successful on the platform. Always maintain that rating. The third thing I want you to do, boss, I want you to comply. There is a constellation of compliance, a constellation of rules and guidelines you have to comply with, okay? First of all, they want you to scan in your ID. So anytime you have a gig, you need to scan your ID, okay? Depending on the gig. Now, some gigs are more sensitive than others, but if the gig asks you to scan your ID, you have to scan it, okay? So on some gigs, you may be asked to scan your ID. Now, ID scanning does what? It helps prevent fraudulent users from using your identity on the platform, and that helps protect the community as a whole, okay? So this is what it is. You just have to do it. Don't ask questions, okay? It is what it is. Now, you may be prompted to scan your ID when you tap Start Gig, okay? And in this case, you'll need to make sure you are in a well-lit area, holding your ID still as you scan the back of your ID, okay? And the Roadie app, will guide you and alert you if there are any issues capturing the photo. It is really important to make sure the barcode is clearly visible without any glare. So if you are in low light, it can be helpful to use the flash on your camera if you're experiencing any issues. Okay, very important. Now, the thing here is that sometimes you might be asked to be certified as a driver, okay? So let's just talk about that. Again, we are still talking about compliance, okay? So what are driver certifications and how are they achieved? Now, some gigs require certifications in order for you to be matched to them, okay? So for example, you might be a trusted driver, a cargo trailer, extra equipped, or TSA certification. So trusted driver, when it comes to sensitive deliveries, we want to make sure that they are delivered by a driver that Roadie trusts. That's why you will see the trusted driver certification required for gigs with sensitive or valuable items. So to become a trusted driver, you need to successfully complete 5 gigs, and the certification will automatically be added to your profile 7 days after the first gig is completed. Okay, for cargo trailers, now some oversized gigs require trailers for successful delivery. So these gigs typically consist of either long dimension items or heavy items such as lawn mowers or large timber. Okay, so you also, if you have extra equipped, some oversized gigs require extra equipment for successful delivery. So what I'm trying to say here is that depending on the gig that you choose, you will need to have this sort of a certification. What about TSA? Now, TSA regulations require trained and screened drivers for any gig being delivered to an airport cargo facility. Okay, so to become a TSA certified driver, you got to take TSA training, you got to go through TSA screening, and you got to actually provide documentation for TSA. We're talking about license and work authorization. The next thing you need to do is to choose gigs. Boss, I'm still talking to you about how to make at least $100,000 delivering for Roadie. So first, you have to understand how the Roadie platform works and what it is, okay? You want to join. Number 2, you want to comply. Number 3, you want to choose the gigs, okay? And how do you, it's very important to understand that you need to actually be what will happen once you download the app, right? Once you enter, based on your geography, the app will feed you gigs that might be of interest to you. This is very important. And the thing, remember that we're speaking about $13 to $35 on local gigs and up to $75 for long haul deliveries, okay? And sometimes you could be on a wait list. Yeah. Sometimes, because if you are in a geography that is very competitive, you could be on a wait list. What does that mean? It just means that, the Roadie will actually see that they want to wait for you to actually they want to wait for a gig to be available to you, because again, based on the competition, they will assign gigs automatically to the best drivers or the most trusted ones, okay? And the thing here is that you just have to be patient. Sometimes you can be on the wait list for one day, sometimes you can be on the wait list for a few hours. Okay. So, but if an opportunity opens up, they'll automatically assign that gig to you. Okay. So don't be pissed or don't be frustrated if you're on a wait list. It is what it is. Okay. And one thing you need to understand is that in some cases you may be assigned to some gigs that are sensitive. For example, if you are delivering cylinders or compressed gases. This has some hazmat implications. Okay, so compressed gas cylinders are portable tanks used to store, transport, and dispense gases for use in a broad range of industrial, research, and medical applications, including carbon dioxide and propane. Okay, and CO2. So those are really sensitive and very dangerous deliveries. And sometimes when you have this, you have to be extra careful. What will happen here is that Roadie will provide all the guidelines and all the instructions that you need to follow. Okay, so one thing you need to understand is that always, if you have questions, contact Roadie. Do not actually take matters in your own hand. No, remember that a safe delivery is the responsibility of the driver. So don't take chances. Drive safe, arrive safe, ask questions. Okay, anytime you have to deliver something that is I would say that's out of the ordinary, you always want to ask for information. Now, sometimes instead of choosing gigs, you might be matched. Okay, so instead of you actually proactively choosing gigs, Roadie itself will match you to some gigs, and that's what you want, really. That's how you make money, because basically, if you deliver quality, if you actually have quality service all the time, what will happen here is that after a while, Roadie will start actually matching you to some gigs because they believe in you. They know that you offer stellar service. Okay, they know that you are good, you are always on time, and you're always smiling with the recipients or the center of the delivery. You have excellent customer service. You have great work ethic. They'll work with you. So what will happen here is that they'll start matching you. So what will happen is that you will get alerts about nearby gigs. Okay, they will offer you one or more gigs at once. So you are able, in the whole process, to actually maximize your earnings with multiple gigs. This is really good. Okay, so they will offer you as many gigs as you would like, and they'll let you know when you are matched. So if there are several deliveries in your area, they will bundle them so you can make more money in less time. Think about it. This is just fantastic. Okay, so when we talk about, let's just take an inside look at gig matching. What happens here is that Roadie is constantly, they have an algorithm that's constantly looking at the opportunities to actually improve customer service. Okay, and again, as I said before, if you are in a geography that is competitive, things might be a little tough. But if you're in a geography that is less competitive and you have multiple deliveries in a very short, I was in the short area, this is where your bonanza will start dripping. You'll start making money, a lot of money in less time. Okay, and the gig matching experience is kind of cool because it assigns actually the best gigs to the best drivers, or also the most available ones. Okay, and so how do they match drivers with gigs? So drivers are already on the way to their pickup location, okay, and also the past driving experience. So those are a few things that Roadie looks at. They look at your location, your past driving experience. I'm talking about your ratings, your on-time rate, your cancellations rate, and the gig types. They also look at the vehicle size that you have, okay, your current driving status, okay. And one thing I want to say here is that if you're not selected, don't worry. There could be a problem with your vehicle size based on the gig. There could be the fact that you are very far. In other words, proximity to the pickup location is not really your forte right now. You're very far from the pickup location or the delivery location. Your average delivery speed needs to be improved, and your current number of active gigs. Okay, so this is what it is. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. So I want to continue. I want to explain to you how to make money being a UPS Roadie driver. Okay, and now the sixth step is to deliver. You need to deliver. Now remember that the Roadie actually offers a constellation of insurance policies for the drivers. It depends on your states, but you can work things through with them. Okay, and we're talking about health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, life insurance. Okay, now when I talk about delivering, remember that you want to actually always pay attention to the Roadie app, because the Roadie app makes everything easy. Okay, you can get step-by-step instruction in the Roadie app in terms of your destination. You want to follow turn-by-turn navigation. You want to easily handle issues when they come up. You want to contact the sender or recipients with questions, and enjoy 24/7 support by SMS, email, or phone. One thing you need to understand is that in terms of delivery, you got to be careful about what you are delivering. Okay, if you are delivering alcohol, you must be at least 21 years or older, and you got to actually have a ID on yourself all the time. You got to have ID. Because if you get, let's say you get pulled over by police or any other law enforcement agency, you want to prove that you are of age. Very important. Okay. One thing you need to understand is that if the recipient doesn't have an ID or is not the person listed, you have to actually return the alcohol. You got to return it. Don't take chances. Okay. And one thing you also need to understand when we talk about delivery, you also have to understand that some deliveries are different, based on the substance being delivered, based on the recipient, based on the sender. But one thing I want to say here is that everything will be listed in the app. Okay, every instruction that is pertinent to the delivery, to the gig, will be listed in the app. So you always have clarity of mind. You know exactly what you have to do. Okay. And one thing I want to say in terms of delivery, don't worry about your end of year summary of miles driven, because Roadie will actually do that for you automatically. So you can actually write off some miles on your tax return. Okay, this is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say also, I was talking earlier about alcohol, but the same applies to pharmacy deliveries. Okay, pharmacy deliveries are really, really quintessential in terms of how we make sure the nation's logistics system work, in terms of labs, in terms of hospitals. They need their medication, and so on and so forth. One thing I want to say here is that the FDA and states, I would say, drug enforcement agencies have specific rules you have to follow when delivering pharmacy substances. Make sure you always have your ID at all times. The last part, getting paid. I love getting paid. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So get paid. one thing you need to do is that you can get weekly deposits or cash out instantly. So you can get your money right away, or you can get your money every week. Okay, you keep 100% of the tips you earn, and you can track your earnings over time. That's what we love with this. So as I was talking to you earlier, how much you'll be paid per gig depends on the gig. Okay, and we have seen actually gigs that pay all the way to $650. So when we talk about long distance gigs with oversized items, you can go all the way to $650. We've seen people earn $7,500 per gig. Okay, so this is totally possible, but again, it depends. We are talking about $13 to $35 for local deliveries, up to $75 for mid to long hauls. Okay, not oversized deliveries. Okay, but yeah, you can actually go all the way to $7,500. It's totally possible. It depends on the sender and the recipients. Okay, so Roadie offers the option to be paid instantly for a small fee. Okay, so just think about that. So if you opt to cash out instantly, they will deduct $1.99 from your payout. Okay, otherwise just wait for the weekly payment process to go through, and everything is fine. Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that you might see on the app, sometimes they talk about tip included and tip possible. Well, it really depends. What's the difference? On some gig, a sender will add a tip upfront. Okay, so those gigs will have a tip included tag, and senders typically use this as an incentive for going above and beyond for things like urgency and heavy lifting. You can see those reasons in the gig details, along with the amount added and the original payout for the gig. Okay, you will see the tip possible tag when customers have the opportunity to tip after their items have been delivered, like on Walmart deliveries. Okay, and when tips are added after the fact, Roadie will send you a notification with the amount that's been added to your payout. Okay, one thing I want to say here is that you are able to keep 100% of all the tips. So Roadie is not really taking anything away from you. Okay, this is really important. So overall, you get paid once a week, or you can get paid instantly if you agree to pay Roadie $1.99 in terms of payout fee. Thank you so much for your attention to this conversation. I was just talking to you about how to actually make how to make thousands of dollars delivering packages for UPS Roadie. So I spoke to you about understanding the overview of the company, joining, complying, choosing gigs, getting matched, delivering, and getting paid. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.